Hi, it's Sarah again. Wow, you guys are going to get sick of me. I am just doing a little introduction because what I'm going to do, I have had so many kind remarks and interest in the little exercise segment that I did in my last video. So what I wanted to do was put it up as a standalone, and then that way you would have quick access to it, and you could watch it as you need it and not have to wade through any of the FlossTube. So this is just a little introduction to say that I'm going to do that. I am, as always, committed to your health as well as your stitching. So without further ado, here's Allison and I. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi. I'm here with my daughter, Allison.
Hello.
You guys have met, or some of you have met my oldest daughter, Diane. Allison is my middle daughter, and then Eva is the mother of Vince, which we've all been hearing a lot about lately. But as promised, I have asked Allison to come and record this little segment as a continued focus on our health in our sedentary sport of cross stitch. So Allison, if you could just a couple of sentences on
Sure.
your background. And
yes, well, I'm doing I'm an expert in CrossFit, not cross stitch. And oh, that was really silly.
No,
okay.
wasn't. That's good.
Anyway, but I've been a CrossFit coach since about 2009, teaching all ages, kids all the way up to people in their 70s and 80s. At CrossFit, we do lots of different kinds of exercises, but we really try to focus on functional movement. So movements that we're doing in our everyday life, full range of motion, multi-joint movements, so that we're not just doing just a bicep curl. We're trying to do things that we do out in our daily lives, picking things up off the ground, reaching overhead, getting groceries out of the car. All the stuff that we're doing is to help us get better at those kinds of movements that we do every day. So we're just going to do something very basic here today, but there's different ways that you can make this harder for yourself as you are moving through your exercises on a daily basis. But we're going to start just very, very basic, but then I'll kind of explain how we can make this harder as we go. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So we're just going to start. You probably want to scoot over just a little bit.
Okay.
But two things I want you to think about when you're doing your exercises is don't hold your breath.
Oh, let me interject. I said I was going to mention this before. We are really doing very basic things here, but if there's any reason, be sure that you check with your physician or your doctor and make sure that this is something that is okay for you to do. Because I just want to throw that little disclaimer out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now.
So you just don't hold your breath. Make sure you're just kind of breathing throughout it. And also at the same time that you're not holding your breath, you always want to think about how you're holding your midsection. So we think about kind of lifting up the chest and kind of keeping the midsection kind of tight, but again, not holding your breath. So we're just going to start with just some simple arm raises. We're going to come to the side, come all the way up. So kind of inhale and then exhale. And we're just going to do that 9 more times. Just breathing, nice and easy. This is 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, and 9. And just, you can do this at your own pace, of course. And one more, 10. Okay, and then you're just going to stand up. And then again, this is just to kind of get our joints kind of warm and moving. So nothing crazy here, but we're going to reach all the way up. And if you can, try to reach back behind you just a little bit. And then we're going to come down. And if you can touch the ground, that's fine, but just go as far as you can. If you can touch your toes, yep, this is an example. And we're going to do that 9 more times. Reach. Come down as far as you can and reach. And again, as you're coming down too, remember thinking we're keeping that belly and that midsection kind of tight, but not holding our breath. And this is 4. My hair's getting in my way. 5 and 6. And then sometimes when you're coming back, you can think about squeezing your butt right here. 7, 8, 9. Nice job. And let's do one more. Okay, so that's where now we've got some blood flowing. Our joints are kind of warm. So we're going to start with a squat, and you can use your couch, you can use a chair, but when you're squatting, what I really want you to think about is kind of lifting the chest up, and when as you come down, keep the chest lifted. So we don't want to squat and bend over too much. If you can, just try to keep that chest up as much as you can. We're just going to sit down. Good, and then sit right back up, and then we're going to do this 9 times, coming down. Now on our way up, really push your whole foot into the floor. Good, keep that chest lifted. That's 2, now we're gonna do, that's 3. And if you need to keep your arms out for balance, you can. If you need to hold on to something for balance, you can. But again, we're really just focusing on keeping that chest up, belly kind of tight, and pushing into the floor on our way up. Lots of things to think about. And we'll do 4 more.
We can count.
Yeah.
We do that in CrossFit.
Okay, good. 3 more. Good, and then think about kind of pushing your knees out a little bit. We never want our knees to cave in. Straight ahead is fine, but if anything, we want them to go out. And we'll do 1 more. Good. Okay, now we're going to come behind your couch or your chair. If you're in a chair, you definitely want to make sure the chair is not going to move, okay, because we're going to do an elevated push-up. Now, there's going to be different ways that we can do this. You can do this behind the couch, but if this is maybe too hard, too advanced right now, then we're going to turn around and we're going to move to a wall so that we can just get elevated up. The higher up you are, the easier it's going to be, the lower, the harder. Okay, but we'll turn back around because Mom and I are going to do this one. You just want to make sure, again, chest up, but that you're trying to get full range of motion of the joint. So that means trying to get your chest all the way to the couch if you can, and then remember all the way up, full lockout on the arms. So we'll do this 9 times. And if you can't go all the way down, that's fine. That's something to work towards. 3, 4, try to keep those elbows as close to the body as you can. 5, there you go. 6, my mom's doing push-ups. 7,
I have a granddaughter over there that's laughing at me, so.
8, 9. I mean, I can already feel myself sweating, so this is
I'm definitely sweating. And it looks, like she said, basic. But
that was 10, yep. All right, so we're gonna come around.
Thank you.
And this is just gonna help us kind of get used to how we move to pick something up off the ground. So you can grab anything next to you. This is lotion. What do you got there?
Hand sanitizer.
Okay. So it can be anything. And this is how you can make it harder. So this is pretty light right now, but you know, next week or the following week, if you keep doing this, grab something a little bit heavier if you can. But again, chest is up, and as we come down to the floor, those knees are going to track outwards. Okay, we don't want them caving in. So chest up, we're going to come, if you can, all the way down to the floor. And then we're going to lead with the elbow and bring it up all the way overhead. And then we're going to switch sides and we're going to do this 10 times. So all the way down, chest up, lead with the elbow. Here we go. Switch. And then, so try not to look at the ground because that makes us kind of bend over. So as we come down, try to keep your gaze
look at you guys
forward. Here we go. Lead with the elbow, bring it all the way up overhead.
This one's harder.
Okay. This is 5, I think. Good. 6. I mean, you just go down as far as you can. If you can't touch the ground, not a big deal. 7, 8,
So you're passing that off kind of right in front
9.
of you.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter where you pass it off,
okay.
but and 10. Okay, now we're going to sit back down. And again, this is where you can kind of change your object to make it a little bit harder, but let's stick with something light in the beginning. We're going to keep our chest up, and these are called seated presses. If you do have dumbbells at home, light ones, you can put one in each hand, but for the sake of what we're doing, grabbing something near you, we're just going to put it right in front of us and use one object, and we're just going to go straight overhead. Now, this is that full range of motion that I'm talking about. Lock the elbows out and then come right back down in front of you. So what we don't want to do is push out. We want to try to push straight up. So the biceps are getting close to the ears and we're really getting range of motion of the shoulder. So we'll do 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, I'm gonna have to take another shower. 3, 2, and last one. Okay. And so ideally what you would want to do, maybe the first time you do this, just do that one time through. But the second time, try to do it 2 times through. And on that second time through, if you can, try to grab a heavier object. Or like for the push-ups, maybe lower your elevation so you can get a little bit more advanced on that. But I think that's about it.
Okay, well, that was
nice to virtually meet you all.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And guys, you know, I feel pretty strong about us continuing to think about our health and the little things that we can do, because you all know how much I love to cross stitch. In fact, my daughter walked in the other day and she said that my essence was probably in my stitchy spot, because when they walk in the door, that's usually where Nani is. So, but we do want to do things and get up and move, and remember to move and protect our health so we can stitch all the things. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. My pleasure.
I love you.
Love you.
Mwah. Okay.